Okay, we are back. I was just experimenting with chameleon powders with an idea, but I then wondered what I've got lying around that I could kind of try and experiment with. And for some weird reason, first of all, I thought caster sugar. No, not caster sugar, icing sugar. But then I thought baby powder. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to see if it works. So, first of all, I want to see whether it actually mixes well with resin. So I'm using UV resin. If you do experiment with two-part, it's all going to be about timing. When you introduce the mixture to your epoxy, you want it to be really thick in consistency so that it's not going to sink and blob. But as always, I'm experimenting with UV first. I can kind of see if it's going to work first. I don't know how much to add in. I don't want to make a mess. And I think everyone's got baby powder lying around. That was way too much. I think that is definitely going to sink. But we're going to test it and find out. It's got like a milky. It's very, very fine. It's not very opaque. Oh, I'm not sure. I wonder if we could mix something to it. I don't know. Let's go in with more. Why not? It's going to make it thicker and heavier, but it's not very opaque. I don't know if it's going to work. See, this is where experimenting goes a bit strange, doesn't it? I mean, it's definitely it's definitely more opaque. But I've got something that's telling me to mix something in with it. I don't know what. Now, I think to begin with, I just need to keep it as it is and just see how it sinks. Kind of like the lightness. Looks like sour milk. I'm just going to introduce that to the resin. Maybe I'll stir it and just see what happens. Sorry, you can't really see. You can't really see it anyway. It's very, very dodgy in colour. Where's my pin? But I think we could mix this with something to make something a little bit different. Let's see how that cures. If it cures. Okay, let's see what we've got. It's a little bit undercured. I'll tell you what, I know I've got some bubbles, but it's now given me an idea. I wonder whether we could use this as like a pigment paste. So what I'm going to try and do now, I've done mini blooms with UV resin before. I'm going to see if I can get something to resemble a mini bloom with my UV resin. Okay, I've warmed the baby powder slightly with a torch. Don't try this at home. I'm just going to drizzle that in now. And if this works, maybe we'll introduce some colour. Just leave that be for a minute. Any kind of blobs, I'm just going to pull that out. And hopefully that resin will begin to pull in slightly. It's not really pulling in, and I can see it starting to sink. So I'm going to just go in and just draw in a little design and see what happens when we cure it. Okay, what have we got? I think it's going to be a blobby mess. This is where experiments start to get more interesting and more committed, because there is a really cool design in there apart from the blobs. Okay, so what if we colour it? So I've mixed up some more, and I'm just going to add 1 or 2 drops of my liquid dye, just so I can see it a bit better. I'm kind of see what it's doing in the resin. So these are translucent liquid dyes. So the powder should really be working as a pigment does. So what if we pipe it in? So it's not all concentrated in one area. I mean, everything's worth a try, isn't it? Whoa! Right, let's leave that for a minute. I'm going to cover it up so it doesn't cure through my window. I'm going to put in a bit more, just towards the middle. See, it's starting to bloom, but some of it is starting to sink. So I'm going to try and pull that out a bit more, so it's not all concentrated in one area again. I'm going to have to go in with my design now. Too much baby powder. Sorry, my hand's in the way. And swirl that middle and cure. I'm going to cure from the underside first, just to stop it from sinking anymore. So something's telling me to back this, so I've just done a black mica powder mix just to see if it gives it any depth. Something's telling me that this could work on a much bigger scale once I've got the balance of the ingredients right. And with an epoxy mix, it will pull in a lot better. Okay, that should be turning off any moment now. Really anxious to see the results. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. So let's test the back. Has baby powder worked in our resin? I think I'll stop here for this experiment, but I will go into it more if this has turned out okay. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subscribed. Hit that button for me. Pick that off. So, moment of truth. Has it worked? No. It's kind of there, isn't it? But it's just blobbed. But the actual background rose has really worked. I think a little bit lighter. Should we have one more go? One more go. No, I'm definitely putting in less powder this time. Let's go with that. It's hard to say what that is in a measurement because this is an experiment. And then, where's my red gone? Again, a couple of drops of that dye. I am determined to make this work. Going with a bit thicker and a more consistent swirl this time, so that it's less blobby in some of the areas. Just trying to shield that from my window. Less is best. Just gonna watch that like a hawk. Just move some of it around. It's starting, see, it's starting to pull already, which is great. But there's some areas in the middle that aren't quite pulling, so I'm gonna go in now. Just drawing that design real quick and swirl that middle. And then quickly cure. Quick. So I gave it about 20 seconds on the top and then quickly started to cure the underside, just in case any of those pigments start to sink again. And you're probably wondering why. I mean, why not? I know we've got pigment pastes, we've got everything we need, but when we can come up with different ideas, I mean, I know this would then work on a larger scale. So if we run out of pigment paste, or you can't get it where you are, because some people can't, you know, this could be a crazy option. I had some left, so I've done another one. Okay, so I did a couple of small ones here as well, just because I didn't want to waste anything. And I've done some slightly darker than the others, so I think this one here has blobs. But we're about to find out. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. There's a blob there, but the black really helps with kind of the shadow within the petals. So already that is a big improvement from that. So the powder is working to kind of make the dye and resin a bit more opaque. So I think this would work on a larger scale. Should I try it? That's the thing. I think it would work. It's really, really cool. Needs some more work. Needs some more playing around with and experimenting, but baby powder in resin. That's crazy. Again, as always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subbed. It is free. Oh, it's really cute. I actually really like it. That is absolutely stunning. Really do look like red roses. Last one. A bit heavy on that one. But there you go. This is why I love experimenting, because you never know what you're going to get. So from these to this in a few runs. Right, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.